Hey guys, welcome to Hughes History. Congratulations, guys. I'm gonna grant you 3 wishes. That's right, and you can't wish for new wishes, but you can only wish for constitutional amendments. What would you wish for? I'm gonna tell you my 3 wishes, and then you're gonna leave yours down in the comments below. Let me tell you why I'm giving you wishes, because I don't think in today's political climate that a constitutional amendment can be done. I just think that it's just too cray-cray, that getting these numbers is almost impossible. But the directions for changing the Constitution comes with changing directions, is in Article 5. And we already have a video on that if you want to watch it more kind of in-depthly, but just to kind of summarize, there's 2 ways that you can propose an amendment and 2 ways you can get that sucker ratified. To propose an amendment, it's been done the first way every single time, and that would be to get a supermajority joint resolution out of the House and the Senate. That's 2/3 of the House and the Senate, right? That is pretty much impossible. And what about the president? We don't care about you. It's got nothing to do with the president. The mechanisms for change rest in the Congress and the state legislatures and the people of the states. But the second way is you could have the states come together and go, Congress isn't doing it, so we're going to get together and we're going to vote as state legislatures. And if you can get 2/3 of the state legislatures to take this vote, you can demand that Congress has a national convention where new amendments would then be proposed. But that's never been done. A lot of kind of state advocate people talk about that procedure being used to bypass kind of Congress's unwillingness to maybe do their specific amendment that they want. All right, so now that we have an amendment, it's got to be ratified. To get it ratified, you have to either go through 3/4 of the state legislatures, or you can have what is called a state convention, where the people would elect representatives to a state convention outside of their legislature. But either way, you have to get 3/4 of either the state legislatures or the state conventions. So that's very, very difficult. The state conventions have only been used once. That was for the 21st Amendment to repeal prohibition. But yada, 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 now you know why I gave you 3 wishes. So let me blow out my birthday candles and make my 3 wishes. I want some gerrymandering juice. Yeah, gerrymandering is one of my pet peeves. Gerrymandering simply means when state legislatures are using their political power to kind of carve out their state legislative lines and their congressional lines in a way that's manipulating kind of the outcome of the vote. Both the Democrats and the Republicans do this. They create really weird districts where they're basically trying to marginalize Republicans or Democrats, so their vote is either being diluted across many counties or many areas, many districts, and maybe packing it into one. So that, to me, creates conditions where districts become much more ideological because they're being served just to the Republican base or the Democratic base. So that means a couple things. Number one, it means you get more radical politicians. You get people that are unwilling to compromise, and then they have to get reelected, which means that they have to kind of talk to that base. There's really no room for them to moderate themselves because they'll lose their job. They'll get primaried out. So I think that gerrymandering, an amendment, would be really great in trying to create more of a sound ground for public policy, for not just compromise, but bipartisanship and people solving problems. Man, I'm getting all goosebumpy. So let me read the words. This is what it would say. Districts represented by any legislative body in the United States shall be concise and composed of contiguous territory determined by neutral criteria such as natural or historic boundaries. Now, how to enforce that, I guess I'll leave that up to Congress, but I think that that would be a good start, so yay for the gerrymandering juice. Campaign finance. I just think it has to be done. I'm not disagreeing with the court in like Citizens United, and you can go watch that video right there, in terms of it being a free speech issue, that if people want to spend their money, it's their money. But a constitutional amendment would stop that. And I think that reasonable limits in order to create a sound democracy where people's opinions and their views count more than how much money they're soaking in from big, super PACs, I think can only be a good thing for the Republic. So these are the words that I'd put into the Constitution. No constitutional provision shall be used to prohibit the Congress or any state from imposing reasonable limits on campaign funding and spending. And of course, reasonable limits that would then have to be interpreted by the Congress or by the people, but I think that it's just getting so crazy. I don't even want to give a big political ideological spout about why. It's just, come on. I mean, what are we going to have to spend $5 billion to be the president? That just seems nuts to me. What would the aliens say? Now, number 3. So my third one is a little bit out in right field, but hey guys, they're wishes. I call this one, are you smarter than a 12th grader? I think that every candidate for public office in the United States of America, whether it's local, state, or federal, should be required to take an advanced placement United States history exam and an advanced placement American government exam. I mean, I think that that's just only reasonable. And then instead of grading them, because that would be a bit of political soiree, just release the results to the public, and we can read their essays and look at their answers and do our own fact checking. But I think that that would be something that I think the American people deserve to know about who they're voting for and what their knowledge base is. So that's my number 3. All right, guys, you know what's next. You got to leave it down in the comments below. What's your amendment? Put the words down below and let the people be the judge. How about that? And giddy up for the learning, guys. Thanks for watching Hughes History. If you haven't subscribed, you can do that right now by just clicking the big red button. It's magic. It's like a unicorn rides you off into the sunset and you can subscribe. It's just awesome. And go to www.hiphughes.com and you can check out lots of cool things there. And what else can I say but where attention goes, energy flows, and we'll see you next time you press my buttons.